Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English, and this is Mukesh Soni. Friends, in this video we shall have the discussion of the important questions of the famous TED Talk by Preethi Srinivasan titled Destigmatizing Disability. Though I have already done the summary of this TED Talk, you can find the summary in the description box, the link of the summary in the description box. Now let's begin the important questions from the TED Talk, Destigmatizing Disability by Preethi Srinivasan. And here you need to answer the questions in a paragraph because you'll be having the questions for 5 marks. Question number 1, though quarantine period was temporary, it was extremely difficult to everybody to experience. But this situation is permanent for the people of some category. How? So in her TED Talk, Preethi Srinivasan, she requests to imagine a world in which there is complete isolation, where she cannot join any school, any college. Even God doesn't want her. Temples do not accept her. So these are the questions always rise in the minds of the disabled, because Preethi Srinivasan, she herself is a disabled person. She imagines all these things, and for her, the life is something like she's quarantined. She says that this quarantine period, what kind of quarantine period, where a disabled person cannot go to school, a disabled person cannot go to temple. This quarantine period has been extremely difficult different in our history, and no one could have imagined it. But she further says that it is temporary. She comments that though such constraints, such restrictions are very temporary, but for some people like her, it has become a permanent quarantine for the rest of the life. And the reason for this is here, it's much more complex phenomena that is called stigma. That's called stigma. The complex phenomena is here stigma. That's the reason that this situation has become a quite a permanent in her life. Okay. Sorry, there's a disturbance. Question number 2. Now, what is stigma? We will try to connect both the questions. What is stigma? What is types of stigmas according to the speaker, Preethi Srinivasan? Speaking on stigma, Preethi Srinivasan, she says, quote, when you are treated like you don't belong, you are not popular and you are not accepted. So what kind of stigma? Where people don't treat you properly, you're not popular, people don't know you, you're not accepted, people don't accept you. So this is the kind of stigma we have in the society. Further, Preethi Srinivasan speaks about the types of stigma. She says there are 3 types of stigma. One is rejection, one is exclusion, and the another is here dependence. So she says this can be seen every day in school, where children are being rejected or bullied just because maybe they are too fat, too skinny, or too tall. So some sort of physical deformity. The reasons are very endless. So many reasons we have, but we don't need any reasons. As we grow up and enter the college and the workplace, we all find people who are not popular, who are who are all discarded, who are considered the fringe, and who are not accepted amongst anyone. She urges to introspect to the change and think about all the times when we have seen stigma happening and we have quietly ignored. So that's about stigma according to Preethi Srinivasan, the disabled person. For a change in the life of the discarded, what are the ideas the speaker suggests here? What are the ideas the speaker suggests, especially for those people, those who have seen the life of discarded? Speaking on how to be the change, Preethi Srinivasan says that change can be brought if you go and sit next to the person who is not popular. Try to be friendly with them. Sit and treat them as an equal human being. Make them part of your group. Invite them to your next birthday party. See the change? Change will definitely happen. So all these simple, small things can be done to be the change and to bring the change. She says that we can easily remove the red. All we need to do, is to remove the rejection by accepting people as they are, to remove the exclusion by giving them empathy and including them into the mainstream of society. When they become independent, we can enable them. We can empower them by providing the equal opportunities like in the education, employment, jobs, relationships. So this is how a change can be brought in the life of the discarded people, according to Preethi Srinivasan, the speaker of the TED Talk. Last question, what kind of scenario happened in World War II? And how are the thousands of people, especially the marginalized segments of the society, killed by the Nazi regime? During the World War II, thousands of Jews were murdered, brutally killed by the Nazi regime, but they also killed thousands of people with the disabilities and thousands of members of other marginalized segments of society like persons from LGBT community. This small group of powerful people decided that they were superior and that they wanted to clear out the impurities in our genes and create a supreme race. Preethi Srinivasan comments that the impure ones were discarded and exterminated. This is the power of stigma. She suggests a way to get rid of such power of stigma by treating others with empathy. We can make friends with them. When we make friends with them, we will see that we are not so different. We may have impairments. Impairments can happen to anybody, anytime. They can be from birth or they can be through any accident. So later she talks about the impairments and she suggests the way to overcome it. She says that all you need is a certain level of accommodation. It may be more or less, accommodation here refers to the acceptance. It may be more or less, but it is there. The acceptance, the accommodation is there. And it takes it that a bit of accommodation, a bit of acceptance is required. And when disability happens, it is that you are labeled. Remember, if you are disabled, you will be labeled. So what the other people should do? The other people should accept it. The other people should accommodate them. The other people should bring them into the mainstream line of the society. So that's what the suggestions of Preethi Srinivasan as a disabled person. So friends, this is how I have tried to solve the questions of the TED Talk by Preethi Srinivasan. And this TED Talk is in the syllabus for the 4th semester BCom BBA, Generic English, BCU, and all the other lessons, videos, links you can see in the description box. If you're not yet subscribed, subscribe it, like it, share it. If you have any questions, you can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay in tune with Mukesh English. Reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Thank you so much once again.